Biggest mistakes of people while driving car. Distracted driving. Distracted driving is a dangerous behavior that involves the driver taking their attention away from the road and focusing it on something else. This can include using a phone to make a call, send a text message, or use social media, eating or drinking while driving, or engaging in other activities that take the driver's focus away from the road. Distracted driving can significantly increase the risk of a crash, as the driver is not fully aware of their surroundings and may not be able to react to hazards in a timely manner. It is important to avoid all distractions while driving and to keep your focus on the road at all times. Speeding. Speeding is a common cause of car accidents and can significantly increase the risk of a crash. When a driver is going too fast, they have less time to react to changing road conditions or other hazards, and they are also more likely to lose control of the vehicle. In addition, driving at high speeds increases the force of impact in a crash, which can result in more serious injuries or fatalities. It is important to follow the posted speed limit and to adjust your speed based on the conditions of the road. Tailgating. Tailgating, or following too closely behind another vehicle, is a dangerous driving behavior that can lead to a crash. When a driver is following too closely, they may not have enough time to react if the vehicle in front of them makes a sudden stop or change in direction. In addition, tailgating can cause the driver to become frustrated and make impulsive decisions, such as attempting to pass the other vehicle in an unsafe manner. It is important to maintain a safe following distance, typically at least 3 seconds, to give yourself enough time to react to changing conditions. Improper lane changes. Changing lanes improperly can be a dangerous driving behavior that can lead to a crash. Before changing lanes, a driver should always check their mirrors and blind spots to make sure it is safe to do so. They should also use their turn signal to let other drivers know their intention to change lanes. Failing to do these things can result in a collision with another vehicle that was in the driver's blind spot, or that was expecting the driver to stay in their current lane. Failing to yield. Yielding the right-of-way to other drivers is an important part of safe driving. This means letting other drivers go first when it is their turn, such as when entering a roadway from a side street, or when merging onto a highway. Failing to yield can lead to a crash, as the other driver may be expecting you to give them the right-of-way. It is important to pay attention to traffic signals, signs, and the actions of other drivers, and to yield when it is required. Running red lights or stop signs. Failing to come to a complete stop at a red light or stop sign is a dangerous driving behavior that can lead to a crash. When a driver runs a red light or stop sign, they may collide with a vehicle that has the right-of-way or that is expecting the driver to stop. It is important to come to a complete stop at red lights and stop signs, and to wait until it is safe to proceed before proceeding through the intersection. Impaired driving. Driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs is extremely dangerous and can have severe consequences. Alcohol and drugs can affect a driver's judgment, coordination, and reaction time, making it difficult for them to operate a vehicle safely. Impaired driving can lead to crashes, injuries, and fatalities. It is important to never drive while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Fatigue driving. Fatigue driving, or driving while tired or drowsy, is a common and dangerous problem. When a driver is tired, their reaction time and judgment may be impaired, making it more difficult for them to operate a vehicle safely. Fatigue driving can lead to crashes, injuries, and fatalities. It is important to get enough rest before driving, and to take breaks if you begin to feel tired while driving. If you are feeling drowsy, it is best to find a safe place to stop and rest. Do not try to push through the fatigue, as it is not safe to drive when you are not fully alert. If you are on a long road trip, it may be helpful to share the driving with someone else, or to take breaks at regular intervals to rest and refresh. Here is a tips and helpful information while driving a car. Distracted driving. To avoid distracted driving, it is important to put away your phone and any other distractions before starting your journey. If you need to use your phone, pull over to a safe location to do so. Avoid eating or drinking while driving, and try to limit the number of passengers in the car, as they can also be a distraction. Speeding. To avoid speeding, it is important to pay attention to the posted speed limit, and to adjust your speed based on the conditions of the road. If you are driving in adverse weather or in an unfamiliar area, it may be necessary to reduce your speed to ensure that you can react safely to changing conditions. Tailgating. To avoid tailgating, it is important to maintain a safe following distance of at least 3 seconds. This will give you enough time to react if the vehicle in front of you makes a sudden stop or change in direction. Remember to also keep a safe distance from other vehicles when changing lanes or passing. Improper lane changes. To avoid making improper lane changes, it is important to check your mirrors and blind spots before changing lanes. Use your turn signal to let other drivers know your intention to change lanes. Wait until it is safe to do southwest before making the lane change. Failing to yield. To avoid failing to yield, it is important to pay attention to traffic signals, signs, and the actions of other drivers. Yield the right of way to other vehicles when it is required, and be patient when it is your turn to go. Running red lights or stop signs. To avoid running red lights or stop signs, it is important to come to a complete stop at all red lights and stop signs, and to wait until it is safe to proceed before going through the intersection. Pay attention to traffic signals and be aware of other vehicles that may be approaching the intersection. Impaired driving. To avoid impaired driving, it is important to never drink and drive or operate a vehicle while under the influence of drugs. Plan ahead and arrange for a designated driver or alternative transportation if you will be consuming alcohol. Fatigue driving. To avoid fatigue driving, it is important to get enough rest before driving and to take breaks if you begin to feel tired while driving. If you are feeling drowsy, it is best to find a safe place to stop and rest. Do not try to push through the fatigue, as it is not safe to drive when you are not fully alert. If you are on a long road trip, it may be helpful to share the driving with someone else or to take breaks at regular intervals to rest and refresh. Thanks for watching our video. If you like to see more content like this, please subscribe our channel to reach more people.